I'm DJ Ray. For those of you who haven't joined me before, I do a weekly show every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on TikTok live called Music Goats. And basically, what that stands for is the greatest of all time in music. So every week I pick, it doesn't matter what kind of genre, I like all kinds of music, like I'm sure many of you do. Last week we had the top country artist, it was Johnny Cash. We've had many others like the greatest music diva of all time, the greatest guitar player, goes on and on. So this is going to be going on every Tuesday for the unforeseen future. And I like to think that I'm just going to keep making these better, hopefully, especially with all your guys' support. It's, it could be a lot of fun. So let's get right into it. Today, it's the greatest disco song of all time. Okay. And number 20, we're going to jump right in, is by a band called The Tramps. And the song, Disco Inferno. This song was originally released in 1976 and topped the Billboard dance charts in the US. However, it had limited success at the beginning until 1978, after it was included on the soundtrack to the iconic film Saturday Night Fever. You guys remember that movie? Disco Inferno was on that soundtrack. You may have forgot that part. The song played a smaller role, I think, at the beginning of the movie, but it was on the soundtrack. So, in 1993, Tina Turner did a remake of this disco track, Disco Inferno. And in 1998, you guys probably don't know this one, or maybe you do. 1998, Cyndi Lauper did a rendition of her own for the soundtrack, A Night at the Roxbury. So coming in at number 20 on my all-time disco list is Disco Inferno by The Tramps. And for you guys just joining, hello, Jen. Let's see if there's anyone else here. I'll check in with Sarah soon and see. But welcome everybody. We're counting down the greatest disco song of all time. And if you think you know, hey Vito, how you doing, buddy? If you think you know who the greatest disco song is, sorry, not the artist, what the greatest disco song of all time is, please type it in. Sarah will make a note of it, and this way we'll know who typed in first. The person who types in first after we announce the number of song is the winner. Simple like that. So, so far we've done number 20, Disco Inferno by The Tramps, which brings us to number 19. This girl was a one-hit wonder, but what a one-hit wonder she was. Amy Stewart comes in at number 19 with Knock on Wood. That's right. Knock on Wood. Going some, Anyway, this song was originally recorded by soul singer Eddie Floyd in 1966. It was a completely different version. I don't even know which one I like better. They're both so great, but obviously you got to go for the original. But Amy Stewart's version took Eddie Floyd's to a different level, and she popularized it in 1979. Her version topped the Billboard charts in both Canada and America, which I won't have to say both soon with Trump, right? Anyway, we won't get into that. In time, this popular disco track would become an anthem for the gay community. And in 1980, it earned Amy Stewart a Grammy nomination for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. That's Knock on Wood, Amy Stewart coming in at number 19. For those of you just joining me, I'm DJ Ray. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m., I go live on TikTok with my Music Goats. What's going on, Sarah?
Hey, just checking in. Everything's going good. I'm enjoying the live. Doing a great job.
Thank you. So are you.
Thank you.
Check right back in with you in a couple seconds, so hang in there with me.
Absolutely.
Okay, song number 18. Thanks again, Sarah, for doing this. I've been wanting to have a co-host, so it's nice to see how it goes, right? It might be better the way I was doing. It might be better this way, but you don't know until you try different things, right? Number 18 is by a band you may have heard of. They're a trio. Does that give it away? The Bee Gees come in at number 18 with You Should Be Dancing. Billboard magazine described this song as a strong, up-tempo disco cut, while Record World magazine called it a across-the-board smash. It was one of 6 songs by the Bee Gees that was included on the Saturday Night Fever movie soundtrack. God, that soundtrack is just iconic. It just brought music into a whole new light. A whole new genre started from that, pretty much from that soundtrack. Anyways, You Should Be Dancing was included on that soundtrack by the Bee Gees, and it topped the charts in both Canada and the US, while peaking at number 5 in the UK. It's known today as the Bee Gees' very first chart topper, in which Barry Gibb, lead singer, used his trademark falsetto vocals. Yeah, you remember? I don't even want to try that. I'll embarrass myself. He just hit notes that no man should be able to hit. Everything's still going good over there, sir? Any picks coming in? I know Ange picked Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. And look, you could have more songs than one. Bee Gees were a great band, right? They could have more than one. Who knows, right? So,
absolutely. I was checking the chat, and so far I can only see Ange, who's got Staying Alive. That's all I have so far. So I don't know if anybody wants to give us a shout out on what your number 1 disco song would be. That would be amazing. Let's get this party started.
I want to see how well you guys know your disco music. I agree. So just type it in the chat. As soon as you type it in, that's your song. That's the one you're basically choosing. And Sarah will write it down, and that will count as your pick. Hey, Debbie. How you doing, Debbie? And I think I've seen a Boogie Night. Are you picking Boogie Night, Uncle Mike? That's by the Silvers, I believe. Boogie Night. If that's the song you're thinking of. So Boogie Night by the Silvers. I guess Sarah can write that one down for you. Okay, let's continue. We left off. Again, I'm DJ Ray. Every Tuesday at 8, I go live on TikTok with a different music goat, greatest of all time. Tonight, we're looking for the greatest disco song of all time. Number 20 was Disco Inferno by the Tramps. Number 19 was Knock on Wood by Amy Stewart. And number 18 was You Should Be Dancing by the Bee Gees, which takes me to number 17, a song by the band Earth, Wind, and Fire. And it's called Boogie Wonderland. Coming in at number 17. The lyrics within this song describe an exciting form of nightclub escapism to a magical place called Boogie Wonderland. Like so many of Earth, Wind, and Fire's hits, Boogie Wonderland is bolstered by blazing horns that have become the group's trademark. If you like horns, I know Nana Banana does, pretty much any Earth, Wind, and Fire songs, but Boogie Wonderland, some nice horns in that song. It was released in 1979, and this high-energy track peaked within the top 10 of the mainstream charts in America and the UK. It also won the Grammy Award for Best R&B Instrumental Performance. We're talking about Boogie Wonderland. And you know what? I'm not too sure why it was considered an instrumental track, because it did have a lot of lyrics. That's weird. I think that was the first year they did it, and I don't know why they would be awarded a Grammy Award for an instrumental track for Boogie Wonderland. But anyway, I guess they learned after the first year. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder about those Grammys, if they just, with all this inside stuff, you never know, right? What the finagling's going on. But number 17 goes to Earth, Wind, and Fire and Boogie Wonderland. How's it going? That's Mr. P to you. Can I just say Mr. P? Yeah. How's it going, Mr. P? Paul, how you doing? Billie Jean by Michael Jackson is for Paul. Okay. And we're going to continue on. We just did 17, Boogie Wonderland, Earth, Wind, and Fire, which takes me to number 16. A little song called If I Can't Have You by Yvonne Elliman. Written by the Bee Gees. You're hearing a lot of them, eh? This disco track initially appeared on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack in a version recorded by Yvonne Elliman. Prior to recording this hot single, Elliman was an actress who performed in the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, which debuted in 1971. Geez, that seems like forever ago. I remember that movie. It was released in 1977 and topped the charts in Canada and the US, while peaking at number 4 in the UK. If I Can't Have You by Yvonne Elliman comes in at number 16. And just before I get back to Sarah, I'm going to jump into number 15, a song that in many ways reminds me of Yvonne Elliman's If I Can't Have You. Number 15 is by Thelma Houston, and it's called Don't Leave Me This Way. It was originally released in 1975 by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. However, it was today's version by Thelma Houston that exploded on America's dance floors by topping Billboard's Hot 100 chart. It was also a hit, number 1 hit in Belgium and South Africa. Don't Leave Me This Way by Thelma Houston. An interesting footnote, this iconic track was originally supposed to be recorded by the legendary Diana Ross. However, for reasons that I'm unaware of, it was reassigned to Thelma Houston. And basically being a one-hit wonder, I'm sure Thelma appreciated that from Diana Ross. In 1978, Thelma Houston won the Grammy Award for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance with this song. And in 2021, Rolling Stone magazine included this track on its list of the 500 best songs of all time. And that is number 15, Don't Leave Me This Way by Thelma Houston. So let's check back in with Sarah, see if she's got any. Have a good night, Paul. Glad you could stop in. How you doing, Sarah?
Hey, Ray, how's it going? Enjoying the live here. Always a great show. Thank you so much. So entertaining. I am good here. Who have I got? We've got Uncle Mike, who is saying Boogie Night. We then have Frank with Disco Inferno. And we have
already
Paul
did
with
Disco Inferno. Let Frank do another one. Look, we did Disco Inferno already at number 20.
I had to add it in, you know.
You
Fair is fair. Then we have Paul, who has Billie Jean.
Yeah.
And then Ange was Staying Alive. So let's keep counting them down.
For sure. Okay, so let's get back into it. I'll check back with you in a sec, Sarah, and we'll get to number 14, Le Freak by Chic. And Miles, why is he? I forgot his name. Anyways, it's Le Freak by Chic is a 1978 dance track that was recorded by American disco band Chic. It was the group's third single and first song to top Billboard's Hot 100 chart in the US. The lyrics within invite the listener to come on down to Studio 54, the iconic 1970s New York City nightclub that was like none other in history. Many famous performers attended Studio 54, including Liza Minnelli, Freddie Mercury, Deborah Harry, Cher, and even Michael Jackson, to name just a few. Billboard magazine ranked Le Freak as the number 3 song for the entire year of 1979. So it wasn't just that it hit number 1 at one point.
Sorry, Ray, I don't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to make note that Nana had a added to the number 1 pick, and I can't seem to see it on the chat. I don't know if it was in while I was away. I am looking for it though, so hold tight. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, just ask her to type it in. Maybe Nana can type it back in again.
That would be fantastic.
I have faith in you. So, Billboard magazine ranked Le Freak by Chic as the number 3 song for the entire year of 1979. And in 2015, it was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Le Freak by Chic comes in at number 14 on DJ Ray's greatest disco song of all time. What will the number 1 song be? I'd love to hear Thriller by Nana Banana as their second choice. Okay. I'd love to hear what you think is the number 1 disco song. Keep that in mind. I haven't done this, so I'll just take a quick second to just review my scoring system for tonight. As always, it's out of 10, and I break down each song into 3 points for lyrics and vocals, 3 points for lasting power, meaning how long the song, has endured over the years. 2 points for charting position, meaning how well it charted, obviously, and 2 points for cultural impact. And a lot of these songs had a lot of cultural impact because disco was a brand new genre in the early mid 70s. So many of them did have cultural impact. So anyway, number 14 is Le Freak by Chic. Number 13, I always say my favorite number because I just have to throw that in there, is by KC and the Sunshine Band, and it's called Get Down Tonight. This song was originally called What You Want Is What You Get before KC changed the title. Released in 1975, this powerful disco track topped the music charts in both the US and Canada, separate countries. It was their first of 5 number 1 US singles. Many years later, in 1998, Get Down Tonight resurfaced on the UK singles chart, peaking at number 2. Sometimes, some of these old songs are so great that 20 years later or more, they're charting again, because if I'm being honest, they just don't make music like they used to. Although I love a lot of the new music and I stay up to date, it's just not, But then didn't every old person ever say that in history? So maybe I'm just getting old. Anyway, number 13 goes to KC and the Sunshine Band and Get Down Tonight. Hey, Mountain Mama. Good to see you. I was hoping you'd show up. Okay, song number 12. You guys may remember it in the early 2000s, but I'll get to that. But originally, this song by Patti LaBelle, who just went with LaBelle at the time, Lady Marmalade by Patti LaBelle comes in at number 12. It was released in 1974. This sexy disco track is famous for the French lyrics. Let me see if I can say it. I've never been good at French, but Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Which I'm sure most of you know what it means, but I'll translate. Do you want to sleep with me tonight? Is basically the name of this song. Very kind of racy for 1974, but I guess that's why Patti LaBelle said it in French. You're welcome, Mountain Mama. So it topped the music charts all across North America, as well as in the Netherlands. Billboard magazine ranked Lady Marmalade at number 16 on their list of the 100 greatest girl group songs of all time. And in the year 2001, Christina Aguilera, alongside Pink, Maya, and Lil' Kim, remade this track and took it all the way to number 1 in 15 different countries, including the UK and America. So coming in at number 12, I've got Patti LaBelle with Lady Marmalade. Just check the chat room again. Sarah, everything peachy there? You got some...
We are Peachy Keen Jelly Bean over here.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, just a reminder, guys, if you want to type in what you think is the number 1 disco song of all time, doesn't matter what I think, it's what you think. What do you think is the number 1 disco song? Type it in, Sarah will write it down, and we'll see who knows their music the best. This will be a pretty impressive one to win because, disco was not a genre that kept going. It stopped, basically. It evolved, but into funk and stuff like that, but it basically stopped. It was basically earliest disco song was early to mid 70s, and the latest one might have been like 1982 for ones who didn't get the memo that new wave was kind of coming in and taking over in funk. But anyway, in my opinion, disco was one of the best genres ever. It's just so nice, great to dance to. Talk about dance music. So number 12 goes to Patti LaBelle, the original person who recorded Lady Marmalade. Getting close to the top 10. Let's continue on with number 11. This one goes to another kind of one-hit wonder known as The Emotions. And the song title, Best of My Love. You get the best of my love. You know that one. It released in 1977. This happy disco tune topped Billboard's Hot 100 charts in the US. In 1978, it won the Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a Group, while also winning an American Music Award for Favorite R&B Single. You're probably wondering, R&B? why are they calling disco songs? Why are they giving them R&B awards for disco music? Because back in those days, they were very confused about what genres were, and disco was as close to R&B, just soul and Motown, and they kind of clumped it all into a genre called R&B. And that's a thing in itself. Like one day I'll have a greatest R&B artists or greatest R&B songs, because that's a really cool genre. But back then, that's how they called disco, R&B. So, Best of My Love by The Emotions at number 11. In 2015, Billboard magazine ranked this song at number 1 on their list of the biggest girl group songs of all time. Number 1. And that came after the Spice Girls Wannabe. So, and Diana Ross and the Supremes. So that's pretty good company. So yeah, coming in at number 11, Best of My Love by The Emotions. And if you're just getting here, my name's DJ Ray. I do these live TikToks every Tuesday at 8 p.m. It's called Music Goats. And it's basically the greatest of all time in different music categories. Tonight, it's all about the greatest disco song of all time. And I'd love it if you could type in what you think is the number 1 song, because we're doing a little kind of friendly contest just to see. We do this every week just to see, who knows their music. We've had a couple champions so far. Nana Banana is the winner of the country one. She chose Johnny Cash, who topped the charts. And the week prior to that, I believe we had the greatest hip hop artist. And my sister, I know it seems rigged, but there's no prize, so it's not rigged. They just know their music. It runs in the family, I guess. I don't know. My sister, Ange, who's in the room as well, chose Eminem, and she punched it in first and was the winner of the hip hopper. So who's going to know the greatest disco song tonight? Who's going to hold that championship belt? Let's see. Because it's now time for my top 10. Not quite drum roll time, but we're getting into the juicy part. So,
Hey, Ray.
yes.
Just wanted to thank a lot of your followers. You've been getting some great gifts there. And
Oh my God, thank you guys.
they're really enjoying the live.
this is
So
one
I'm
of
just
the-
going to bring that to your attention. I know the chat just goes so fast, and
Oh, I can't
you're
even follow
looking
it. But
here, there, and everywhere. So
yes, thank you guys for that. And I apologize for it's just, even with these glasses, like the text is so small, and I try to get up close there. I see a choo-choo train coming. Is that that's cool. So if I do by any chance miss something, please don't. That's kind of the reason why I wanted a co-host / I don't know if the word would be moderator, but just to help, so I'm not missing anybody. Sarah's kind of helping me, and she's been so gracious to do that, and I really appreciate it, Sarah. Thank you. So yeah, thank you for all those gifts. Amazing, guys. I love it. Did your tapping comment go through? Not sure. Right, I'm not sure if maybe you're talking to Sarah. Beto? Hey, Christopher. Hi, Diane. Oh, God, it's so great to see so many cool people. Okay, talking about cool, we've got a very cool goat tonight. The greatest of all time. The greatest disco song of all time. Type in yours. I'd like to see if you know your disco music. Okay, so number 10 goes to Anita Ward, another one-hit wonder, basically, and it's called Ring My Bell. You remember this one, Ange? It's a little thing between me and my sister in Italy. But anyway, we'll carry on. Number 10, Ring My Bell by Anita Ward. This popular disco song was originally written, check this out, for 11-year-old Stacy Lattisaw. I don't know if you guys remember Stacy Lattisaw, but she was like a bit of a teen sensation. She never took off the way, I mean, she had success, but they was originally written for her because it was meant to appeal to teeny boppers who enjoy talking on the phone. Nothing's changed, I guess, just the smartness of the phones. After Stacy Lattisaw signed with a different record label, the song was then given Anita Ward instead. Kind of like the Diana Ross thing, So I'm sure Anita Ward was quite happy because this song made her famous. Let's just say that one song. Sometimes it works that way. With Anita Ward providing lead vocals, this R&B infused disco track topped the charts in 6 different countries, including Canada, the UK, and America. In 1980, it garnered a Grammy nomination for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. And remember, when they say R&B, they mean disco. It's just it was so long ago and they didn't have it all figured out yet, So number 10, starting my top 10 in pursuit to getting to that number 1 all-time song. Sarah's got gifts too. Look at that. Good. I'm glad people are giving her credit as well. She's doing a great job. So number 10.
Oh, this is great. I'm like, wow, you guys are amazing. Thank you all so much. Thanks for joining the live. Thanks for coming out and joining us this evening.
Yeah. Yes, maybe I'll be able to talk her into doing it again another time. Be regular, who knows? So yeah, number 10, Ring My Bell, Anita Ward, taking me to the number 9 song. Second time on the chart already here. The Bee Gees come in at number 9 with Night Fever. Released in 1978, this dance floor favorite first appeared, guess on what? Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, and went on to top the US music charts for an incredible 8 weeks. Good evening. 8 weeks. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 8 weeks. Night Fever by the Bee Gees. It was also a chart topper in many other countries around the world, including Ireland, Spain, Brazil, Canada, and the UK. Considered as one of the Bee Gees' signature tracks, this song significantly helped the trio to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997. Song number 9 goes to the Bee Gees, Night Fever. Everything's still going pretty cool over there? How you doing, Stax? Sarah, you good? Sarah probably went out for a cigarette or something.
Sarah's here. Sarah's good. I think Vito's having some problems of us not seeing some of his.
No, I see you right.
Vito, I know at one point I saw something come up where there was some chat going on and TikTok took it away. So I don't know if it could have been in there because I'm also still trying to find Nana Banana's vote too. And I can't see it. So I don't know if TikTok didn't like it and got rid of them. So if I'm missing anybody, please go ahead and please put it back into the chat and we'll get you into our friendly game here.
No, I see Vito's things. He just said, I'm trying to explain new rules and stuff like that. And he said earlier that this why boxes are important to open the chat is not working at all. So no, I see you, Vito. I always see you, buddy. I see you. And I can't even see that well. So, but now with Sarah being gracious enough to help moderate and co-host, it's even probably going to be better going forward because I don't want to miss messages in the chat room and stuff like that. But sometimes I get off, onto the topic and whatnot. So number 9 went to the Bee Gees. Their second placement. The other one was You Should Be Dancing. And now at number 9, Night Fever. So what is number 8? This one's kind of interesting. It was released in 1980 near the end of the disco era. It's a slightly new wave inspired disco track that was met with immediate commercial success, and it's called Funky Town by Lips Inc. It reached the number 1 position on various music charts around the world, including Spain, France, Israel, Australia, Canada, and the US. One of the last recorded disco songs. In 2009, VH1 included Funky Town on its list of the 100 greatest one-hit wonders of the 1980s. And Time Out magazine named it as one of the 100 best party songs of all time. So, another one-hit wonder. Funky Town coming in at number 8, Lips Incorporated. And that takes us to number 7. This one's pretty hot, so I need a drink. Probably wondering why you haven't heard this girl yet. Okay, so song number 7 goes to Donna Summer, and it's called Hot Stuff. Released in 1979, this incredible dance track was one of 4 singles from Donna Summer that became a #1 hit in the US. It was also a chart topper in Japan, Switzerland, Australia, and Canada. In 1980, Hot Stuff won the Grammy Award for Best Female Vocal Performance, and in 2010, Rolling Stone magazine included Hot Stuff on its list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. Coming in at number 7, Donna Summer, the Queen of Disco, with Hot Stuff. Which takes me to song number 6. What is going to be the greatest disco song of all time? You know, I don't know how much you guys like disco, but it just reminds me, well, I'm going to date myself here, but it just reminds me of my youth and going into my early teeny bopper years and stuff. And it just has such a special memory in my heart. Disco music. They just don't make dance music like that. They never did after that. And I love a lot of dance music from the 80s, 90s, right up to today. But nothing sounded quite like that. And all the horns and everything, just such a great time. The 70s were the best era. We had a live with which was the best era, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, etc., right up to modern times. And I had the 70s right at #1. Okay, song number 6. Once we do this song, I'll check back in with Sarah. Song number 6 goes to Casey and the Sunshine Band, called That's the Way I Like It. Initially, the song was toned down from its original recording, which would have jeopardized it receiving radio airplay at the time. However, the sexual overtones may have improved the record's reception at discos, increasing its overall popularity even further on the charts. Upon its release, That's the Way I Like It, upon its release, Record World magazine described the song as a spirited, uplifting sound that should be reverberating across the country in no time. Coming in at number 6 and taking us to our top 5 is Casey and the Sunshine Band with That's the Way I Like It. I'm going to check back in with Sarah, see if there's anything else going on. Remember, guys, this is the last chance when we go into our top 5 to join in our little fun here and pick what you think.
Yeah, I finally got found a vote for Nana Banana, so I've got
Great.
Yeah, I've got one there for Nana Banana, so we are good. It was a good one too.
Nana's pick, or I'll hear it later. So yeah, we better.
Bad girls, yes, yes.
Okay, so I'll check back with you in a couple more minutes, Sarah. Great job, keep up the good work. I love it. Okay, guys, we're into the top 5 now. Song number 5 is by a group known as Sister Sledge. And the song is called We Are Family, right? Song number 5, We Are Family by Sister Sledge. Released in 1979, this song topped the Canadian music charts while also topping the American dance charts. During the 1979 World Series, the Pittsburgh Pirates used it as their official theme song on the way to becoming champions. Billboard magazine included it on their list of the 100 greatest girl group songs of all time. And in 2023, they also included it on their list of the best pop songs of all time. As of January 2025, right now, We Are Family has generated over 10 million views on YouTube. Needless to say, number 5 goes to We Are Family, the song We Are Family by Sister Sledge. So let's see, we're getting closer to that number 1 to see who knows their disco the best. Did anybody say the number 1 song? I'll give you a hint now that the votes are locked. You've been hearing it a lot the last few years. That's all I'll say for now. Song number 4, the third installment of the Bee Gees. But let's face it, the Bee Gees were the kings of the 70s and disco. I don't think anybody as an individual group could could challenge them. So this is the third one, and Ange, sorry, it takes you out of the race. It's Staying Alive by the Bee Gees at number 4. I'm a little surprised by that, actually, because my initial thought when I think of disco music is I think of that song, Staying Alive, with the John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever. He's got the paint can walking down, Staying Alive. It's iconic, right? Anyways, it became a number 1 single in many countries around the world, including Italy, Mexico, South Africa, Australia, Canada, and the US. In 1979, Staying Alive won the Grammy Award for Best Vocal Arrangement, alongside 3 other wins, including Album of the Year. In the year 2021, Rolling Stone magazine declared Staying Alive as one of the 500 greatest songs of all time. Definitely one of the greatest songs ever, but I've got it at number 4. Okay? I'm going to do a mini drum roll for my top 3. Yeah, everything. I like that. Okay, gives it some added effect. Song number 3. This song actually won one of my previous ones for a best party song of all time. But as far as disco songs, it comes in at number 3. The iconic Michael Jackson comes in with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Released on July 10th, 1979, this time-tested disco track was Michael Jackson's first solo recording in which he had complete creative control. He was controlled by his father for many years. His whole family was, and it was, and that album was amazing. Off the Wall, it's called, the album. Everybody thinks of Michael Jackson really coming out of his shell with the Thriller album 4 years later. And it was his biggest album, no doubt. But honestly, this album, Off the Wall, is his best. And it's just Michael before he started with all the, fidgeting with his, Botox or whatever it was called back then and whatever. Regarded by many as one of the greatest disco songs of all time, this incredible track won Michael Jackson his very first Grammy Award for Best Male R&B Performance. It also won an American Music Award for Favorite R&B Single. So coming in at number 3 and taking us to our top 2, it's Don't Stop Till You Get Enough by Michael Jackson. Okay, getting closer to that number 1 song. And did anybody win? I don't think we've ever had a live yet where nobody won. But there could always be a first time. Let's find out. Song number 2, Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. It was released in 1978. This legendary disco track is frequently regarded as an anthem for gay empowerment. It topped both the UK and American music charts and became a top 10 hit in multiple countries around the world. Oh, now you're going to Le Freak, eh? I already did Le Freak. It was number 14, Ange. So number 2, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. Both Billboard and Rolling Stone magazines included I Will Survive on their list of the greatest songs of all time. In 1980, it won the Grammy Award for Best Disco Recording, while also being nominated for Record of the Year. So hold on. They have in 1980, or maybe that's when it changed, because anyway, it's weird. They have they mentioned disco on this Grammy, but other Grammys, they mention R&B. They were confused, right? So, R&B was really just starting, so basically what they did was they basically assumed any black artists were R&B, and they're all different sounds, and disco has definitely its own unique sound. So, are you guys ready for the number 1 song? I definitely need a drum roll. I think is it usually Mountain Mama that gives me one? Well, I'll give myself one right now just to keep things rolling along. This number 1 disco song of all time. Let's see if anybody picked it. Released in 1978, YMCA by the Village People topped the charts in 14 different countries around the world, including Canada and the UK. That's right, YMCA by the Village People. One of the most popular and time-tested songs of all time. This high energy track has become a staple at parties, weddings, and sporting events all over the planet. After President Donald Trump played it in 2024, you remember that? 46 years after its release, this song spent 5 weeks at #1 on Billboard's digital songs chart. Man, that guy's got power. Hey, he takes a song from 46 years ago and puts it at #1 for 5 weeks just because he does that dance. So there you go. Donald Trump, affecting music. In 2020, YMCA was officially inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. So my #1 disco song of all time, which unfortunately means nobody won tonight. I'm a little surprised. And I knew disco would be a little bit difficult just because there's so many one-hit wonders. And not that the Village People are one-hit wonders. They had quite a few. They had Macho Man. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was a big song too. And my favorite one was in the Navy. I love that song. You never hear it anymore, but they were an interesting group, the Village People. But just because they have the #1 song, disco song of all time, oh, that's cool, man. Look, I look so scary. Just because they have the best disco song of all time doesn't mean they're the greatest artist or group of all time. Like I said a few minutes ago, it's hands down the Bee Gees. So if we were doing this as the best disco group of all time, which I couldn't do because it would have been too easy, it's definitely the Bee Gees. But for the best disco song of all time, the Village People take it with YMCA. So, Sarah, did you have a winner that I was unsure of? I don't think.
No. You get to keep all the prizes.
Yeah. I didn't think that was too hard of a pick, especially with Donald Trump playing it everywhere, Yeah. But yeah, no, it's maybe people didn't remember.
You know what though, Ray? I don't know if I would ever, and maybe this is just me, but I just wouldn't associate the YMCA with disco for some reason. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe I don't know. That's
I
just
guess everybody has it because it was kind of transitioning from the late 70s to the 80s. Like I noticed Nana said Thriller, which is definitely not disco, but I guess you could say it's disco-ish,
Yeah.
But there's
like Nana said Thriller, and I was like, okay, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. It's also, is it a party tune or is it disco? So
That's the thing. Disco's very difficult. I was doing pure disco. I wasn't doing variations of it, and because there's a lot, like that Funky Town song by Lips Incorporated. That one could have maybe been off the list because it's a weird song. It is definitely disco, but it's infused with British New Wave. So it's got a touch of that because in the 80s, it was turning into, in the 80s, disco was turning New Wave. Britain had a second British invasion in the early 80s, and it was mishmashing. And then with the Americans pushing the funk and stuff, it was just changing the sound. So probably the most unique disco song on this chart is Funky Town by Lips Inc. But I just wanted to say thank you for helping me co-host.
My pleasure. That was an amazing live. Thank you so much. Always so informative. I was just so sad I didn't get to have my bowl of popcorn, but that's okay. I was.
Well, go ahead now, and
I don't think you'd want me chomping on that.
No. So go ahead.
I'll go make up for it.
A big bowl with lots of extra butter.
Absolutely. I'm going to go stick with those. Well, thank you so much, Ray. You have an amazing evening. Great job. We'll see you next week.
Oh, great. Okay, there we go. We got a commitment for next week. Speaking of next week, my music goat for that week is going to be the greatest rock ballad of all time. Stairway to Heaven, Hotel California, all these great songs, and we're not just talking 70s. We're going to be going right up to, well, there's not many great rock ballads today, but we're going to be going through all time. So the greatest rock ballad. So, yeah, I wish we could all, kind of, anyway, mingle with that one. But January 28th, next Tuesday, because I'm here live every Tuesday at 8 p.m., live on TikTok, greatest rock ballad of all time next week. And on that note, I want you guys to know that I have an excellent, actually, I'll come back to that in a sec. I just want to remind you to be sure and check me out on pretty much any social media. I'm on all the major platforms, and you can easily find me by going to whatever YouTube or Twitter, X, whatever, and just typing in DJ Ray's Music, and you'll find my stuff. Alternately, you can check out my website at djraysmusic.com. That said, coming up in February, I'm going to be doing a salute to Black History Month. So every day, my posts, which I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with my posts, I do daily posts called Chart Toppers. I do a lot of daily posts. So you'd have to check out one of my social media platforms at DJ Ray's Music or DJ Ray's Music, or check out my website, djraysmusic.com, to see what these posts are. But my chart topper posts for the entire month of February are not only going to be all #1 hits, but they're all going to be by Black artists in celebration of Black History Month. So that's going to be coming in for the month of February on all my social media. So that's it for now. I again thank you everybody for joining. McIntyre, thank you. I see you there. Anyone that I've missed, I'm sure Sarah got to you. Frankie, I think I said hi to you as well. Everybody, thank you for those gifts. That was so appreciated. And hopefully we'll see you again next week for the greatest rock ballad of all time, Music Goats with DJ Ray. Thank you for joining.